I'm Sal Sincata, and this is Shutter Network. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world, welcome to Shutter Network. We are here at Bay Photo Lab in sunny California, where it's always frickin' sunny, and this is why I hate those Southern California photographers or Mid-California photographers or Northern California photographers, because you guys are always dealing with amazing weather. So, what I want to do is jump right into some industry news. So we've got some amazing things going on, things I think you'll be significantly interested in, of course. And so first up, I don't know if you've heard about this, there was a forest fire on a wedding day, and I'm going to put the link on the page, and you guys got to check this out. So this couple, they canceled the wedding, but their photographer, kudos to you, went out there and actually started taking some amazing wedding pictures. So check this out. It's online. Talk about a unique thing to be doing, and the photographer is Josh Newton. Well done, Josh. I think you got some amazing pictures here, and I think you're going to have photographers all over the world now looking for forest fires. And just to share a quick story with you, with couples in it, by the way, and just to share a quick story with you, the minute I told my team about this, I just sent them the link to the article that was carried, and my team was like, I heard them going, oh great, now Sal wants to go shoot in a forest fire, and they couldn't connect the dots, and I was like, no, I don't want to go shoot in a forest fire. I just thought this was an amazing story. So this couple planned an outdoor wedding, the forest fire was happening, I believe it was in the Portland area, and you know, kudos to the photographer and the couple, of course, for doing something very unique and very meaningful, you know, and just putting, life gives you lemons sometimes, and you turn it into lemonade. So kudos to you. So check that out, the link's below. Next thing I want to talk to you about is the new Instagram features. And I do want to pause here before we even talk about new features. If you haven't jumped on the Instagram bandwagon yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. First and foremost, it's free, okay? And I run into photographers all the time who are already struggling on just getting on Facebook. You'd be surprised how many photographers tell me, point blank, I'm not on Facebook. And I can't quite process why you would not be on Facebook at this point. That's where your clients are, so you can resist, kind of like film photographers resisted digital and they're no longer around, but social media is here to stay. And so one of the reasons I love Instagram is because it is the next Facebook, if you will, if that makes any sense. And there's been many, many articles written about the migration of that 16, 17, 18-year-old demographic migrating away from Facebook. They don't want to be on Facebook anymore. And the reason should be obvious. That's where their parents are. And so those teens and going into their early 20s now, they don't want to be where their parents are. They're looking for something new. Instagram is that thing. This should be of no surprise to everyone, by the way. Why? Because Facebook purchased Instagram for $1 billion. So Facebook already knew that this was happening and took kind of a preemptive strike on it. So that being said, the last thing I ever want to do is talk about a technology without really talking about how it could help your business, right? It's not just about fun and games and toys. It's really understanding how it can help your business. And so part of what I'm actually doing out here in California at Bay Photo Lab is we were teaching a workshop. And in that workshop, what came up was how do we use Instagram within our business? And we just started doing something that I think is, I don't know, it's not earth-shattering, so to speak, but it's definitely going to give you an interesting twist on wedding photography. So what I'm doing is, you know, during bridal prep, I'm taking all the same pictures that you guys are taking with my real camera, right? And then what I'm doing is I'm popping out before I leave bridal prep, and I'm taking a picture with my iPhone on, you know, for Instagram using certain filters and things like that. But I'm doing the dress, the bride getting ready, earrings, jewelry, details, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm posting it to Instagram real time, #SmithWedding. And what I encouraged my bride to do, or my couple to do, is let all their friends and family know that if they want to see behind the scenes, right, they can follow the feed on Instagram. Now this is great for me because what this does is this allows me to now get more branding and social exposure, and then of course these people are now following me on Instagram. Why would you not want that? Now I'm sure some pushback might be, well, what if the bride doesn't want people to see her in her dress? Well, that's fine. Don't post those pictures. Just have a conversation with your bride. But don't discount how Instagram and just that social engagement can really impact your business and your branding. Guess what? No other photographers are really doing it. So if you do this in your market, you're going to stand out from the crowd in a way, right, that isn't about money. Now you look like you're totally plugged in to your market, to your demographic. So we did this on a few weddings just as a test case, right? So we did it for 2 weddings, and it was tough. It was challenging for me to be able to do it because I'm thinking from, with my normal DSLRs, I'm not thinking about pulling out my iPhone. And then, of course, the second I pull out my iPhone to start taking pictures, right, the peanut gallery chimes in. Oh, is that your professional camera, right? And I just kind of laugh it off, and I post it online, and then all of a sudden people are like, holy cow, and they're following us online. So this can have huge implications if you market it the right way. Do we charge clients extra for this? Of course not. It's just a value-added service. Not every client's going to want to do it, but your more socially engaged younger clients are going to love the fact that you're doing stuff like that. So don't discount it. Now, in the spirit of that, let's talk about some of the new features that are coming out. One, first and foremost, is the ability to actually control brightness, contrast in a way that actually makes sense. So you can control, when you're applying a filter, you can actually control the intensity of that filter. So you can turn it up, you can turn it down, just common sense kind of stuff. So this major update on Instagram, in my opinion, is about frickin' time. Facebook has had this app for long enough, in my opinion, and they've really held off on making any significant enhancements to the product. And so all sorts of things like exposure, brightness, contrast, things that can now be controlled at a much more granular level, and things that were introduced recently as well as recently focus, and touching focus, tilt focus, things like that. So check it out. Check out the app. Don't wait on it any longer. It's a free app. Get out there, get involved, engaged, and start doing things from a social perspective. Next up, not sure if you're following this yet, but iOS 8 has been announced, and one of the major upgrades, there's many upgrades that have been announced, but one of the major upgrades that have been made is to the camera. Wow, congratulations, Apple. Welcome to the party. It's about time that we've updated it. What's one of the features that actually got updated was the ability now to not only control exposure, right? If you're used to using your iPhone, you would control exposure, so I'd put it on your face, and it would both focus and control exposure on your face. Well, there's like a million other camera apps that are out there that allow you to touch one part of the screen for exposure and another part of the screen for focus. That is finally built into the app, along with many other features, including a time lapse. This is really interesting. So now, from your iPhone, you're going to be able to run a time lapse on it. It's just really interesting. What you're going to do with it, how you'll use it, you'll get creative. But these are features that, holy cow, they're coming off like very expensive multi-$1,000 cameras and are being given to you in the palm of your hand in that kind of, in a powerful way that you got to start thinking, how could you use this in your business, right? How can you use this just to create social awareness? The other thing is, the world of selfies will never be the same. Now, built into iOS 8 is a timer. So they've got a 3-second and 10-second timer built into this so that you can set it up to take a picture of you and whoever. So you don't have to hold your hand out there, right? You can put it down on a ledge, on a little stand that's there for all these iPhones now. So really interesting things starting to happen, as well as many other features. So I'll post a few links so you can check out some iOS updates on the Apple site, but things you should start considering for your business and of course, how it's going to help you in the social realm, right? It's all about being social. So in the spirit of all that, let's get going today. Today's show is all about how to partner, right? What you should be looking for in partnerships to grow your business. We all face challenges when growing our businesses, right? Because at the end of the day, we're a small business. How do we grow our business? How do we partner for success? How do we find the right people to add and enhance our business? It's not easy. I was having a conversation recently, and I'm sure many of you can empathize with this. I got asked, how are you growing your business? How are you dealing with all the challenges that you face as a small business owner, right? And make no mistake, if I'm talking to you and you just want to be that sole photographer and you're just photographing 5, 10 weddings a year, you never plan on adding staff, don't zone out on this topic, right? You've got to think about this. At some point, there's gonna come that point where your business has to flip that switch and just grow and become bigger and add support staff. Are you going to do all your accounting, all your legal work, et cetera, et cetera? Of course not. You've got to find a way to partner for success, and that's what this show is all about. So in the spirit of that, what I want to do is talk about the challenges we all face as business owners. And for me, those challenges come in the way, and I'm sure for you, it doesn't matter if you're a small business, medium business, 1 wedding, 10 weddings, 100 portrait sessions. What are the challenges you're facing? For me, it's growth, right? Handling that growth, time, there's not enough time in the day, resources, and then of course dollars. And so let's dig into each one of them. Growth. If your business is growing, how do you say no? As things are coming into your business, right, as new, that can be portrait sessions, that can be, right, just phone calls, just all these things, new weddings, they're coming into your business. How do you deal with that growth? Dealing with that growth is extremely challenging because you can't say no, right? You don't know when that phone's going to ring next. So as business is coming in, work-life balance is almost comical. In the Cincotta household, there is no such thing as work-life balance. Right now, I'm literally working 18 to 20 hours a day, dealing with things like education, dealing with things like my own clients on the Salvatore Cincotta photography side. My Salvatore Cincotta photography clients don't care how busy I am teaching you, and you don't care how busy I am photographing weddings. And so the reality is, there's growth there. Growth is a good thing, but too much growth too quickly can lead to your business imploding. And that's the thing those are all the struggles and challenges we're facing. Again, this doesn't matter if you're a senior photographer who last year did 20 sessions, but this year you're looking down the barrel of 75 sessions. How do you deal with that growth? These are the things we have to start considering, and this is where outsourcing becomes very, very powerful. Time. My God, there are not enough hours in the day. So I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the day, I wish I could add another 5 to 10 more hours every single day. So how do we scale our business and find more time? Very, very difficult to find that extra time. This is another area where outsourcing and scalability really, really come into play. Resources. As you scale, as you grow your business, you're going to need more resources. Those resources come in the realm of looking for bodies to help you answer phones, second shooters, packaging, delivery to your clients, editing those pictures. These are all the resources you need. As you start adding more weddings to your belt, more portrait sessions under your belt, it is absolutely impossible for you to be able to handle all that on your own. It just doesn't exist. And these are the challenges I'm dealing with, but these are also the challenges you're going to be dealing with as you grow your business. And then, of course, money. Money solves a lot of problems. If I had an endless supply of money, I would probably have 5 more businesses, right? I'd find a way to definitely spend it. But money is that lifeblood of your business, right? And so as you're growing your business, you've got to find a way to infuse cash into the business, right? For what? What are you going to use this cash for? Training, new product, new samples, right? Sample albums, sample products on the walls, new equipment, right? We always need new equipment. And so you need money, and you need it. When is your slowest time? December, January, February, March. Those are the slowest times of year for us. That's when I start going into panic mode. And so believe it or not, as we sit here in June, I'm already thinking about next year. I'm already thinking about January, February, March. Am I going to have enough cash flow to carry the business into those times of year? Because that's when I'm reinvesting into the actual business. So keep that in mind for sure. So in the spirit of all that, the main question is, how do we grow? How do we grow our businesses? And again, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. The fundamental question of how you grow your business is a valid question that you need to be thinking about today. You need to be thinking about how you're going to grow that business. And so for me, I can look you right in the eye and tell you the way that I've grown my business is through outsourcing and partnering. Without that combination of items, my business would not be where it is today. If you know anything about Salvatore Cincotta Photography, you know that we've built $1 million business. That's $1 million in photography, not everything else going on, right? We do anywhere from 40 to 50 weddings a year. Our average wedding spends $10,000 to $12,000 a year. Do the math. It's a $500,000 business just on weddings. And so I can't spend my time editing photos. I can't spend my time printing photos. I can't spend my time answering the phone. I can't spend my time sitting in sales meetings. These are the things that as business owners, you have to ask yourself, where does it make sense for you to invest your limited time? The most limited resource you have is time as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Where does it make most sense? Now, I can tell you from my perspective, it makes most sense for me to invest my time in 2 areas. Shooting, that's where we make our money, right? And then marketing, because I know how to connect with my clients. All right, so with all that being said, the main question becomes, how do we grow? And so for me, I've learned to grow through outsourcing and partnering. And the reality is I can look you right in the eye and tell you that if not for practicing outsourcing and partnering, my business would not be where it is today. I'm not sure how many of you know the studio of Salvatore Cincotta Photography. It's $1 million studio. And so we do 40 to 50 weddings a year. I'm an active photographer. Average wedding spends between $10,000 and $12,000. Do the math on that. Weddings alone, $500,000 business. And so I can't spend my time on things that make no sense, right? I can't spend my time on sales calls. I can't spend my time packaging prints. I can't spend my time returning customer calls. I can't spend my time editing photos. This is not where I'm gonna make my money. This is not where you're gonna make your money. Instead, right, I spend my time editing pictures. That's not where I spend my time. Instead, I spend my time marketing and photographing. And so those are the two things that if you don't spend your time on those, right, that's where you're going to yield the best results. If you don't spend your time there, how do you expect to scale your business? How do you expect to have work-life balance? It's just impossible. So those are not the places I want to see you spending your time and energy. You've got to think, how do I grow? All the plans, all the systems you put in place, I don't want you putting in place for today. That's a rookie mistake. That's not where I want you thinking. I want you thinking about 5x growth. Put systems in place that allow you to grow 5 times the size you are today. That is mind shifting. That's the kind of stuff that's going to allow your business to just take off and blossom. Those are the things I need you thinking about today and now. So keep that in mind. That's how we've grown our business. We let go of things that were not strategic. Now, as a photographer, I would make the argument photography is absolutely strategic. I would make the argument that marketing is absolutely strategic. And so you've got to step away and ask yourself what's strategic in your business and where can you outsource, right? And so let's keep talking about Salvatore Cincotta Photography. There came a point in time where I didn't necessarily want to hand it off to someone else, but I knew I needed extra help. Enter Taylor Cincotta. So my wife stepped in and she started taking over some of these tasks. So look to your spouse. Now some of you may be chuckling out loud thinking, I'm not working with my spouse 24 hours a day, and that's fine. Know your strengths and weaknesses, but it's still something to consider. Who can you trust more with your business than somebody who's, part of the family, and should, in theory, want the same things you want. So let's keep going. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, what should you be looking for in a partner? And this is a fair question. When I'm looking for partners, I'm always asking myself certain questions. I'm looking for people that can help enhance my business, that are a good reflection of my business. Is that making sense? Right? You don't want to just partner with somebody because they do what you need them to do, right? So I wouldn't go to a car mechanic just because they fix cars and there's something wrong with my car, there's a good connection. That doesn't make any sense. Instead, what I'm looking for, I need a partner who's going to give me good service, is producing a great quality product, and of course is innovative. How many companies have you worked with over your life? Forget photography for a second. How many companies have you worked with over your career, right? Where even on a consumer level, they come out with a product, it's a great product, and then 12 months later, it's not actually a great product because they haven't continued to innovate. They haven't continued to reinvest back into their company, right? It's a big letdown. And so I want to put products in front of my clients or services in front of my clients that I know are going to help me look good. I want to look good. I want my business to look good. And part of that also, that innovative cycle, if you will, is what's cool today isn't necessarily going to be cool tomorrow. And I need a company that's going to continue to innovate and evolve their product line with me as I grow my business. And then finally, right, not only do they have to have a great product, do they have to be innovative, we need that level of service. And here's what's something to think about. No business in the world is perfect. If you're operating under the assumption that there's perfection when it comes to the world of business, you're in la-la land. Think about your own business. You're not perfect. My business, not perfect. I'm not looking for perfection. What I'm looking for is service, right? I'm looking for a company that goes, hey, you know what? We screwed up. We're going to make it right. Whatever that thing they screwed up is, I know it's going to happen. It's inevitable that a mistake is going to happen. It could be a mistake in shipping. It can be a mistake in returning a phone call. It can be a mistake in my email went into a black hole. I get it. All those mistakes are fine. But what are they going to do to make it right? That, to me, is the definition of service. And that has to be what you're looking for when you're looking for that partner or just that service that you're looking to incorporate into your own business. How are you going to grow? The people you surround yourself with are going to ultimately define the level of success for your business. So again, let's keep going. What are tasks that you should consider outsourcing? There's certain tasks that are just obvious, right? We've got accounting, legal. I'm hoping you're outsourcing your accounting, right? I mean, sure, you can go to online, do your own accounting, and you think it's going to turn out right, but trust me when I tell you, you're missing about 10 things that you should probably be writing off, and you're probably setting yourself for an audit at some point, right? The IRS is never going to let go. They're going to keep going back into your books and looking for mistakes you make. So just hire an accountant. It's inexpensive enough. That's something you're outsourcing. What about legal? right? How many of you out there are not set up as an entity, meaning you're operating as a sole proprietor? I've talked about this on other episodes, so I don't want to dive into it, but if you're operating as a sole proprietor, you're exposing yourself to so many legal issues, it's not even funny. Somebody trips and falls over your bag at a wedding, a kid gets injured walking on a portrait shoot, twists their ankle, they were a star athlete, now that scholarship they were going to college for, now they blame you, now they're suing you. You don't think it can happen? Again, you're in la la land. These are things that absolutely can happen. So get an attorney, pay the $1,000, incorporate your business, life is good. Protect yourself. But yet again, don't just go to like LegalZoom.com and do it, because you talk to any real attorney, they'll be the first to tell you, oh, we love when we see contracts that were put together with LegalZoom because we can poke holes in those contracts because they're so broadly written. We can poke holes in them and they're almost like you have no protection at all. It's a true statement. So just protect yourself, man. Penny wise, pound foolish here. What about design? Print services. Are you going to sit there and design, right? All the save the date cards, all the graduation announcements? I suppose you could. Maybe you got a little knack for it. But is this the best place to spend your time and energy? More than likely, it's not. And so I learned a long time ago, as much as I love going into Photoshop and designing my own logo and designing my own templates for save the dates, thank you, albums, buying templates makes sense to me. That's a level of outsourcing, right? Buy template-based product so that you can drag and drop your product, your pictures into, change colors, change design elements, and customize it, but at least you're not starting from scratch. This is yet another way that you can scale your business. What else? Printing services. Sure, you can go and print your own 8x10s, 4x6s, 5x7s, canvas even, but do you really want to? Is that where you should be spending your time? So I have an Epson 7900 sitting in my home, and I use it, but I use it for bridal shows, and I use it for spec prints, right? So if I want to put a print in my studio because I know a client's coming in and I need 24-hour turnaround time, that absolutely makes sense. Is that spec print going to help me sell more packages because I give them that spec print as a free gift if they buy a package? Absolutely. That makes sense. Sitting there and printing entire jobs makes no sense. So there's yet another thing we can look to outsourcing. And let's be honest, I can't be innovative when it comes to that stuff. There's only so many things I can do, and it's going to basically be whatever my printer company tells me I can do. So I'm looking for other companies to be innovative in that area, printing on wood, printing on canvas, printing on metal. Those are things we're never going to be able to do, but you as a photographer, you have to continue to be innovative, meaning offering your clients different products or services. If all you're offering your clients are prints, okay, what is the difference between you and every studio around? Because from a client's perspective, they're going, I can get prints from Sam's Club. I guess you can, but can you get these metals from Sam's Club? Can you get this caliber of canvas from Sam's Club? Can you get this product printed on wood from Sam's Club? And on and on and on. You've got to offer those innovative products to stand out from the crowd. What about editing? Editing is something you've heard me talk about over and over again. You've got to let go of this stuff. And so it doesn't make sense as you grow your business to sit there at a computer on a typical portrait session for 4 hours editing. On a typical wedding, it was taking me 8 to 12 hours. Do you know how much I can do with 12 more hours given back to me? How much could you do with that time? You can have work-life balance. You can, of course, go on to more marketing. You can go shoot more, all covering the cost of what it would cost to outsource. All right? What about hosting and sales? You know what? Sales is not necessarily something you can't outsource. You absolutely can outsource sales. You can hire somebody who can help you with sales. Then there's hosting. You can create your own hosting platform, but then there's companies like ShootProof. There's companies like SmugMug, companies like PhotoBiz that offer you online shopping carts that you can host your images online and sell to your clients. These are the kind of smart decisions you have to make as an entrepreneur, as a growing business, to let go and allow your business to flourish. I'm telling you, if you feel like you're just in this kind of spiral of your business and you're not able to grow it, this is why it's happening to you, because you're focusing your time and energy in the wrong areas. So, all that being said, I know I was long-winded. I dropped a lot of information on you all at one point in time, but that's why we're here today at Bay Photo Lab. We're here to talk to them about the things they're doing to innovate, about partnering with them. And what an amazing facility. So if you're looking behind me, we're in their new facility. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a sterile environment. Like I'm afraid to touch anything. You know, you can white glove it in here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So we've got several people from Bay coming up online today, and they're going to talk to us about their innovation. We're going to see some amazing new products, okay? And they've got some really cool things in the pipeline for you. We're going to talk about their people. and we're going to talk about their customer service, something that I've been hammering home. But we've got some great prizes for you today. So check this out. Bay Photo is giving away $430 value of their products. So, you know, if you follow us, you know my pricing and packaging. So we have engagement packages, wedding packages that we sell to our clients. Well, Bay Photo just did something amazing. They built those packages into the Rose system. So you can actually go to the Rose system and select Sal Collection, and you're going to see all our products in there so that you're just dragging and dropping everything that we sell to our clients. But so that you can get going with your sample packages today, they're going to give away our post-wedding collection, $300 value, along with the post-engagement collection. And that's going to include a 16 by 24 print, 15 by 30 print. And then the biggest thing they're giving away, which I'm really excited about, is a brand new 20 by 30 metal print. There's no reason for you not to have samples in your studio so that you can sell these to your clients. And Bay Photo's coming home and giving you a lot of stuff. So $430 value, but how are you going to win? I need you to get social. I need you to get out there, hashtag Shutter Network, go to Behind the Shutter, behindtheshutter.com on, well, I'm sorry, go to Behind the Shutter on Facebook and hashtag your aha moment from this morning or from the entire episode. What's that one thing that has resonated with you, stood out for you? What's that one thing you're going to go and implement almost immediately into your business? So don't go away. We'll be right back after the break.
This episode brought to you by Bay Photo. For 25% off USB drives and cases, enter code SAL25USB at checkout. Offer valid through August 29th.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm here with Glenn Clark, Sales Manager, Bay Photo Lab. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And so first I want to tell you, I've been blown away by being in the new facility. I was out here over a year ago before you moved in here, and then it was like just a dream. And it was just like older office furniture, things like that. So what a transformation back behind us. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's been a lot of planning, a lot of foresight going into changing from one location to another location. So the team here really worked hard to say, you know, what do we want where, how do we make this facility work for production? And the transition itself was pretty interesting because we have to be seamless.
Yeah.
You know, we can't tell our customers, hey, time out. We want to take a few days to change the lab over. No.
How did you do that? Because I am genuinely curious. How did you switch over in real time from obviously running production at your other facility to get here and everything up and running? I mean, did you have to duplicate machinery? What'd you guys do?
Well, because we're a larger facility and because we could lay it out the way we wanted to, we have some experience from having moved before. And that came into play. So the team did lay everything out. We did add equipment. We did add capabilities. So we had a lot of things here up and running before we even pulled the plug, so to speak, on the old place. And then we had a great plan and a great team that when we got to that point, and we did it over a weekend because it's usually a little slower on the weekend, we got to that point where it was just, okay, go.
Just do it.
And our whole team is there and ready and packing and moving and coming in and setting up and getting ready, and it was flawless.
Yeah. Well, and if you're ever in the area, be sure, because I know you guys offer tours, correct?
We do.
Is that like advertised or no?
Well, no, we love having people show up. We just ask that you let us know in advance so we can make sure the right people are here to show you around. And it's just like having somebody come to your house. You have a friend show up and it happens to be the day you're out shooting a wedding.
Exactly.
And it's like, wait a minute, what happened? So,
but I think it's definitely worth, you know, if you've never toured a lab before, I think it's definitely worth coming out here, touring a lab, because for me it was really exciting to walk through and see things being made, right? Because as a photographer, I'm making my image, so to speak, with my camera, but then you guys are really taking it that, you know, kind of last yard, if you will, and giving me something that I can now deliver to my client versus that DVD of images. And I don't want to get going on digital negatives because the audience goes nuts when we do that. But what I love, you know, the reality is we want to deliver a polished product to our client. So, you know, in the spirit of all that, I want to talk to you about your people. What makes Bay Photo, you know, unique as a partner?
Well, that's a great question because I think there's three things that really set Bay Photo apart, and people's one of those things, along with our product and our service and the other things. But people, you know, it's a broad subject. When we talk about people, we talk about, of course, the people that work here, but more importantly, we keep in mind every single day the people that we're servicing. And that is not only the professional photographer who's making his living by what we present to him, but also their clients. And to those clients, we're not just producing products, we're delivering memories. So we're really kind of the final end of what you do in the beginning to create something, create this nice file. That file doesn't have a whole lot of meaning until it goes back to the customer in some presentation that they can actually hold and feel and touch and enjoy.
And let's pause there for a second, because you're absolutely right. I think we're doing a disservice to our clients when we deliver just that digital file. And I get it. I know clients want that digital file. They want to have it on their iPhone, on Facebook, and the plethora of ways they want to look at digital photos. But there is something to be said about holding something tangible that I can put on my wall and enjoy as a piece of art. And I think that is true. I walked in here yesterday because we did our workshop here, and I'm looking on the walls, of the entryway, and I'm seeing my work up on your wall, and I'm just like, I'm staring at it. It's my work. I look at it on my computer all the time, but when I'm seeing it hang on your wall in a form that I've never seen before, it just blows me away. And so I can only imagine, if we reverse this out and think about clients, how that makes the client feel.
Exactly.
And to bring it full circle, you're right. I look to somebody like Bayphoto to be my partner in helping me deliver memories. And I think that's a really good way of putting it.
People have 5 senses. They touch things, they feel things, they see things, they smell things. And you have
a scratch and sniff photo, don't you? No.
But when you see your products, personally, when you touch them, when you hold them, it's a lot different than seeing something in the back of your camera or seeing something online on a website. From your own experience, you do great education here on Shutter Network, but you also do workshops where it's hands-on and you have people in your face and you have people talking to you. It's a completely different experience. Getting that three-dimensional product that you can touch and feel and hand, it's now beyond an image into something that's valuable, and people really, it's a memory, it's a moment, it's something that they can touch and feel and feel close to.
And I agree with you in the sense that it's so much more than just the photographer, so much more than just the client. I look at the images I'm delivering and I see them as generational in nature, right? I'm hoping, because I think at some point that CD or thumb drive, it's going to be like if I went through my dad's closet one day and I saw, an 8-track, which probably 80 to 90% of my audience does not know what an 8-track is, right?
Right.
Even my staff is probably like, what the hell is he talking about? Google that. And so it's just interesting how times have changed. But if I went into my dad's, closet and I found a bunch of 8-tracks, I wouldn't even know how to listen to them, right?
Right.
So what's going to happen in 5-10 years when those thumb drives are like archaic and CDs forget? Now my laptop doesn't even come with a CD player or DVD drive anymore. What's going to happen in 10 years, 15 years? That image has no more meaning, but that one that's on the wall really does carry and continue to carry meaning.
Exactly. And if you look at, in times of emergency, in times of pressure, you look at some of those newsreels. What do people carry out of their homes when there's an earthquake or a fire?
Yeah.
It's
always
the prints,
pictures.
it's the albums, it's the pictures, it's the memories. They can't replace them.
So talk to me a little bit more about your people in general. What is it? When we think about Bayphoto, and we think about the people who make up Bayphoto, one, I'll talk from my own experience. All too often, right? As photographers, we go to trade shows, and I see people like you and Sarah, and Larry, and the Bayphoto kind of client-facing crew. But that's not really what Bayphoto is. There's all of this.
There's a lot more to Bayphoto than just the faces you see at the trade shows and out in the industry. We've got a great team of people. We have people that have been here over 20 years.
Incredible, by the way. And I'm going to use this as a little segue. I'm blown away, honestly, by the seniority of people you guys have here. And I look to you guys, and that's something I want to have with my own team. I was just talking to my team last night, and I said, dude, they've got people on staff that have been there 16, 18 years. Like, talk about just an understanding of the industry or even the business of, right, just what is Bayphoto. I hope to one day have that in my own business where I can look back and be like, hey, I've got Alyssa, she's been with me for 15 years. I think that's an incredible testament behind the scenes to what you guys do. That is so far beyond products you're selling or services you're selling. I think it's an amazing testament. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you on that.
That's okay. Our people have been through, fortunately, Bayphoto's been around a while. We're not a startup. We've got a lot of history. We were in the traditional film processing business years ago. We transitioned into the digital age, and that was a real learning curve. But what I'm really proud of is we didn't just survive that digital transition. We thrived. We led it. Bayphoto is the original Rose Lab. Bayphoto and Larry leading us, and the team of the people that we have, really got out in front of things, and instead of being under pressure or suffering by the digital transition, we made it work for us. We made it work for our photographers. We helped the photographers make that transition, and we're still helping them transition today. So when you talk about the people that we have, the experience that they have, we have at least a couple of dozen people that have been here over 10 years. I mean, we have a lot of experience and a lot of people that know photography. We are very interested in people who make their livelihood and realize it's photography, it's images. We have professional photographers on staff. We have photo enthusiasts. We have people that just appreciate photography as an art form.
You know, and it's interesting you say that, because I have worked with labs where the people behind the scenes, and I'm not thumping any lab or pointing fingers, but it's interesting the value add that comes from having people work on imagery that are photographers. Because you're not trying to train someone how to understand, no, that's really bad, there's something wrong with that, versus somebody who's just sitting on a machine and sliding everything through, right? Because that's not helping me as a photographer. And so, you know, we were talking offline about, you know, just the case of the inspection process. Shed a little light on that for me.
Well, we believe that we look at the quality of our products all the way through. We don't have just a quality control department. Everybody's looking at quality from the moment it comes in and we're looking at it on a screen as a file to the moment it gets printed, to the moment it's packaged, all the way through shipping. Everyone's looking at it. Anyone can pull the plug at any moment and say, hey, I got a question on this order. We need to see what's going on here.
Right, because photographers we all make mistakes. Sometimes, you know, just working with my own team, every once in a while I'll get an image that the color space is CMYK, right? And it's like the image looks like crap, or it's a thumbnail, it's a low res file versus what should have been a full res file. And you guys are catching that stuff, right? Because it's easy to just print it.
We try very hard to check every order that comes in. We're looking at files. You know, we're in the people business. We're all people. We're human. Therefore, someone's going to make a mistake somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
So we try to catch those things. I mean, every now and then we have a photographer that sent the wrong file. They sent the thumbnail instead of the full res version. We try to catch that before it goes into production. We try to let them know and ask the question and make sure we've got what they need. Sometimes there's some, you know, with all the filters and special effects nowadays, sometimes there's some colors that are really questionable. So we'll call and ask, did you really mean for this to happen?
Right.
You know, and we don't do it to bug our clients. We're not questioning their capabilities or anything like that. We're the support system. We want to make sure that what we're doing is what they want. The last thing we want to have to do is do something over again and put the time frame back or anything like that. So communication's a big deal to us, and that's part of the people process.
Right. No, and you're absolutely true or correct in that, because you could, without a doubt, go to a 1 hour lab, right, where you've got a 17-year-old on the machine. They're going to literally print anything that comes through, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It could be a blank image. They're printing it. Oh, you want 155 by 7? So it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, and there's truth to that. So I think you're spot on. I know me as a photographer in working with Bayphoto, I'm always looking for that connection to make sure that the people I'm working with understand my business, but more importantly, care about my business. So
absolutely.
Well, Glenn, absolutely insightful having you here and talking about the process. I know next up we've got Tiffany coming in from service, and then we're going to have Larry on here showing us futures, and that's probably the one thing that always excites me when we talk about innovation.
Exactly.
We're going to hear about and see how Bayphoto is innovating. So everyone, I hope that you've enjoyed that segment in getting to know Glenn. If you're at a trade show, go into the Bayphoto booth, introduce yourself to Glenn or Sarah or the Bayphoto team, and they'll definitely help you. But we're doing a great giveaway.
Yes,
from you guys. We're going to do our collections, $430, $450 value, our collections, as well as a 20 by 30 metal print. So there's no reason for you not to be building your sample collection, but I need you to get out there and get social. So from the entire episode, what's your aha moment? I want you to get on Twitter. I want you to go hashtag Shutter Network, hashtag Bayphoto Lab, and tell us your aha moment. Or that one statement or concept that's really resonated with you, and next week we'll be picking one lucky winner. So Glenn, thanks for being here for this segment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after the break. We're going to talk to Tiffany from customer service.
That's right.
This segment brought to you by Signature Collection Albums. Present in style. Use code FOLIO59 to receive $20 off. Offer valid through the end of July.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I am here with Tiffany and Hillary from customer service at Bay Photo Lab. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you excited to be here?
Thank you. Yes.
Little nerves, we'll be all right. You're not used to being on camera, right?
No,
You're behind
no.
the scenes, phone calls come in, and you know, we get to have the conversation that way.
Behind the phone, behind the computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about what each of you do here at Bay Photo.
I'm the customer service manager, and I've been here for about 7 years.
Wow.
And I'm a customer service representative. I primarily do email, but I switch between phone and email, and I've been here 2 years.
Very cool. So, you know, in the spirit of this conversation, let's talk about, you know, service as it pertains to Bay Photo, right? Because the whole conversation, and we had Glenn on before, was around really what makes Bay Photo stand out from the crowd, and especially when it pertains to me as a photographer growing my business and partnering with someone like Bay Photo. So, you know, from your experience, your perspective, I should say, what makes Bay Photo from a service perspective stand out?
We do a lot of one-on-one support. We're very patient. We work with people on various levels of experience, and so our customer service people have to be prepared for anything when they answer the phone.
Right. Yeah, I can only imagine what kind of calls come in. So I deal with, you know, I teach at photography, and we get, you know, some of the most random calls. But, you know, to that person calling in, it's the most important question in the world, right? There's no dumb question.
Definitely.
And so so let's keep exploring service. What kind of service do you guys, you know, offer? Take me through it.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to say too, is that we also offer a well-rounded service. So instead of it just being solving a shipping delay, we're solving production issues or shipping delays or technical service. So really from the moment that you log onto your computer and go, how do I start this, to I have my order and I love it, we really cover all of those areas. And we can log in, we can find out anything about your order, start to finish.
That's important, right? So there's no black hole in the order, right? So every step of the process, you could tell me for that client who's like has to know everything.
Right.
You know where that order is in the process.
Right.
Tell me about, are there any kind of stories that stand out to you? You've been here a while. I'm sure every kind of imaginable story has happened on the phones.
Oh, yes.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
Is there a story in particular that stands out that really exemplifies what Bay Photo is all about from a service perspective?
She has one, I think.
Yeah. Well, we do email support pretty much round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we had a client email on a Saturday
Wow.
that she hadn't received her order. She placed it last minute, so she was kind of upset about it. And my email support person called me. I got in touch with the production manager. We got someone in on their day off at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and we reprinted the entire order, and then our production manager drove it to the Bay Area to deliver it to her house.
Wow.
So she had it in time for the biggest bridal show she had all year.
Right, so for her, this was the moment in time that she was getting
Yes.
ready for, and without those cards, and I totally understand, you know, if
Yeah.
you're doing bridal shows, stuff like that, everything seems to happen last minute. But to your credit, I suppose this wasn't a Bay Photo mistake, right? It was just she
No.
ordered last minute, didn't allow for the production times. You guys pulled in staff on their day off and went down.
Yes, it was amazing. And it was her business cards, it was her, promo materials. It was so she had to have it. We knew that.
So it was a big order, needless to
Yes.
say. So, that's incredible because I was talking to Glenn about, just the people in general and what makes them so unique. And to me, that's one of those things, right? You're calling your staff. First of all, you're answering stuff on the weekend, which is incredible. Kudos to you. But secondly, you're pulling staff in to go and hand deliver that product. Now, please tell me the client was blown away by that level of service.
She was very happy. Yes, she was very relieved. Nervous, but relieved. Yes.
I bet.
I mean, I also think that although that was a large order, smaller scale versions of that happen every day. I mean, when you call us and you say, my order has to go out, I can't count the number of times where we go and we pick up the order and we hand it off. I mean, someone is personally handling your order, and when something needs to be there, we understand that it might just be business cards, but it's really your reputation. So they have to get there, and
That's awesome.
we make sure they get there
Yes.
as often as we can.
Yeah. And so that's interesting. So Hillary, let's explore that a little bit further, right? Because part of what I was talking to Glenn about was as orders come in, it's really being looked at every step of the way. So for example, a photographer submits a thumbnail of an image versus a full res. How is that handled on your end from your perspective? What happens? Take me through that process.
It's proof through the whole lab. So we have technicians that will screen all orders for resolution issues. We have color being monitored. We have the actual print and crop you submitted. So if your text is being cropped, because the biggest thing about Bay Photo is that these are handmade products. Someone who we know their name went through and mounted this and hand trimmed this. And so a lot of times each of us works as your eyes on your product throughout the process.
No, and that actually is a really good thing because again, I know photographers, as I'm handing you my work, I mean, photographers, we're an interesting bunch, right? As artists, I'm handing you my work and I'm trusting you with my baby, so to speak. And they want to know that somebody's taking care of that through the process. So you were going to say something, Tiffany.
Well, we when the order comes in, we call, we email, we follow up until we get an answer. If it's a rush, we'll drop everything we're doing and try to get in touch with you.
On an order where there's a potential issue.
Where there's a problem.
Okay.
And so and then someone follows up until that problem's resolved.
Yeah.
No, that's actually really important. What else? I mean, that one story actually really gets me excited to hear customer service stories like that. Is there another story that stands out where you guys just went above and beyond from a service perspective?
We actually have a customer in New York City who always orders at the last minute. And she always needs it for a holiday. There's always something she needs it for. And
as a native New Yorker, I can probably apologize for her because I don't even know who she is, but she probably drives you nuts.
She's great. She's to the point.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
calls,
That's
she
how us
gets
New Yorkers
there,
are, man.
And she's like, I need this. Here's
This
my
is what
order
I want.
number.
Yeah.
so there was an order that she needed a same-day delivery on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And so we printed it, we drove it to the airport. By the time it reached New York, it was 11 o'clock at night, but we were still open because of the time difference.
Right.
And she was able to get it off the airplane at 11 o'clock that night for
Her client.
whatever she needed it for.
That's insane and incredible at the same time. Wow, kudos to you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like my own business if I would go to that extent to deliver something, and that's quite intense to put that bad boy on a plane and get it out there.
Well, and we're really problem solvers. I mean, if there's someone has a problem and say, we never say, oh, it's impossible.
Right.
We say, what could we possibly do to make this happen? And we pull out all the stops.
Yeah. We look at all angles, and we try to find one that's going to make it work so that we can get it to you and it's as efficient as possible.
And I really like that you're saying that. Obviously, as a customer of Bay Photo, I've always enjoyed the fact that when there is a potential issue, I'm speaking to a human being. And I think in this day and age, email, and this is something I've got to communicate to my own team.
Yeah.
Email is convenient, but lazy at the same time, right? And here's what I mean by that. My team, it's much easier for me to just go in an email and say, no, your image will be delivered on Friday the 5th, whatever, right? But man, it's so much more personal when I'm having that phone call with one of you, because then I feel like I'm actually just, even though somebody's obviously writing the email,
Right.
it's so much better to know I'm dealing one-on-one with you guys.
Hear your voice and hear your concern.
Of course.
And I think that's what's so great about our customer service too, is that we come from all angles. So the person who's more confident with email, or maybe it's a Saturday when something happens, you can still have that moment to write down your thoughts and contact us and know we're there. But we're also here via phone at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that means that it doesn't really matter which coast you're on. First thing Monday morning, you can get to one of us too.
Yeah, the 6 p.m. thing I think is really beneficial to me as a business owner because, obviously a majority being on the West Coast, all your clients are, somewhere east,
Right.
Unless they're here. But that now I can be 8 p.m., 9 p.m. People are getting home from work, right? Some photographers are
Absolutely.
part-timers or they're shooting during the day,
Right.
And they can still get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
So what else?
Well, we have the ability to log into your computer and solve technical problems.
What?
So,
Yeah.
Is that real?
yes.
Okay.
So if a customer calls and they're having problems with the software or they just don't know how to use it, we have tutorials. Not everybody can watch a tutorial and get something so
Right.
fast. So we can log in. We can do one-on-one lessons. If there's a problem with your computer that's preventing the software from launching, we can figure that out. And so we pretty much like she said, from beginning to end, we're there.
That's a huge value-added service. So if you guys are new to Bayphoto, never worked with Bayphoto before, this is a great opportunity. You're seeing behind the scenes, right? These are not just people in another country. They're here. They're at Bayphoto Lab. They're taking your phone calls. They're handling your emails, and now apparently they can log into your computer and help you with all those crazy questions you may have. Well, Hillary, pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Tiffany,
Thank
pleasure
you,
meeting
Sal.
you, and good job to you both. All right, everybody, so here's what I need you to do before the break. I need you to get social. What's your aha moment? What's that thing that's resonated with you? Get out there on Facebook, BT Shutter, hashtag Shutter Network, hashtag Bayphoto Lab. We've got great prizes for you. Bayphoto is giving you a free 20 by 30 metal print, and then, of course, they're giving you our platinum packages so that you can build your sample portfolio. So don't go away. Right after the break, we're going to have Larry on set with us, and he's going to be showing us futures and talking about and revealing some behind-the-scenes new products that Bayphoto Lab has planned for us. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
This segment brought to you by Capture Integration. Join Sal Sincata and Roberto Valenzuela this fall for a one-of-a-kind portrait and wedding workshop in Tuscany, Italy. For more information, visit captureintegration.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I am here with Larry Abitbol and David Cross, and I am excited. This is probably the best segment. I've been looking forward to it all day because it's all about futures and products, and you start getting really, really tangible. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
David, pleasure.
Great to meet you.
And so, Larry, David, let's talk because, earlier on we were talking to customer service and they were telling us all these great stories. And I was talking to Glenn and he's telling them, again, all these great stories about Bayphoto and the history. But, when we're dealing with photographers, man, they want to know about product development, futures, and what can they do to stand out from the crowd and really what makes Bayphoto a pioneer in this area.
Right, yeah. Product development is a lot of fun. I sure enjoy it. And part of it is ideas that we get to, bring to life. Sometimes they're not necessarily our ideas, but a lot of them are. And we love doing it. People here love doing it. It's challenging because there's a lot of steps in order to make something go live, where you can actually produce it, where it can scale properly, and so on.
Right.
So there's a lot of steps, but But
well, Larry, I was yesterday. I was in your office for just like 3 minutes, and it was like being in Dr. Frankenstein's lab, so to speak. You know what I mean? There's like all these products everywhere that you can tell are just like brainchilds of yours and your team, and aren't quite born yet, and they're just in development.
Right.
And that's exciting.
Yeah,
to
well,
me.
I've been called worse.
Compliment for sure. And so David, tell me a little bit about what you do here.
As a production supervisor, I run a few of the departments, but I also work a lot with product development, and I do a lot of the physical aspects of getting in there and testing and making things work functionally within production.
And that's probably something I would imagine most photographers don't quite understand, is that it's not as simple as just going, hey, wouldn't it be great? And they have this idea, right? It's really not, that's the easy part, unless I'm mistaken. The hard part is what you guys are talking about, which is, okay, can it scale? How can we make it in an archival way? Right? Because you can't just throw a product over the wall and then hope it sticks, right? Because that's
Right.
not...
Color accuracy, those sorts of issues.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're printing on, in here in this case, and we'll look at this in a second, on bamboo, right? We've got to make sure the colors come through. And so what
Right.
is, right, without sharing inside secrets, what is typically the process from idea through delivery to the client? Because I don't think our audience has any idea what that
Right.
looks like.
Well, the first thing is you need to have a product that not only that we like, because if we don't like it, I would just as soon not do it. So it's a good product that we like, that we think has legs. It has to be a product that people will purchase, that will like, that'll help them, and it has to be good for everybody. Once that's done, then it's a matter of sourcing the materials, trying to see what materials we already have in-house that might be compatible with that product, or get new materials, create the product, figure out the best way to create a product. At first it's loose as quickly as you can, and then it's a matter of getting it refined for production. Then that goes on to pricing, putting the web pages together, shooting the products, on and on.
Yeah, you
there's
don't
a lot
you
to
don't
it.
even really think about that. Then, of course, now you've got the product developed, but of course, it's the marketing and advertising of that product as well, and photographing it.
You know, getting it proper in the software so that it looks right, so that all the edges are going to wrap in the exact spot where you see them. So there's a
I
bit
can't
to
even
it.
imagine the headaches that they're going with that. So then, David, your job is to make sure that his vision comes to life.
Yeah, so I physically go out there and I make them happen. I do the prototyping, and then I help facilitate the different clerical issues.
Yeah. All right. So I am super excited to dig into the products that are right in front of us. And I remember as you were putting them out on the table, I just kept wanting to see, touch, feel, everything. So kind of walk me through and tell me, are these products that exist today, or are they futures? And if they are futures, how long before they're going to be released?
Right. Yeah, some exist today,
Okay.
and some are futures,
Okay.
and some aren't here at all because we're just kind of keeping them in our back pocket. It's always good to do that.
They're
a
not
little
here on the
bit.
table.
That's
You
right.
didn't
that's
share
right.
the locker with me. All right.
Yes.
So let's start with
Okay.
this. What is this?
Okay, so this is haven't quite settled on a name on it yet, but it's basically a hard canvas. And it's made with, it's a lower cost canvas. And it's hard, and the corners are clean. So some people like that.
I do
Corners
like
are
this,
tight,
actually.
But it's not a true canvas, really, because a true canvas you want to just kind of bounce. But the way we make
This
it,
is
it should
stretched
drop.
to a true canvas.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
talk to me about the concept of this product. So what, in your mind, I know what's going through my mind about why I like this. Why was this created? Was there a need, or what
It was created for a lower price point.
Okay.
That was pretty much it. It was a lower price point. There are some advantages to this being hard, but in institutional facilities and so on. But it's basically to bring the cost down, because to stretch, to have the stretcher bars, to cut into
Costs
the
more.
frames, cost more, and we're also using a little different printing method to bring the price point down.
See, but when you say bring the price point down, I think the average person might think, well, it's an inferior product, it's cheap, and I got to be honest with you, I don't look at this and think inferior compared to a stretcher canvas. I actually like this, and I'm going to tell you why. Because all too often when look, I'm in the Midwest. We're dealing with heat and humidity. And what happens typically with canvases are they start bowing and they start getting that wave to it, and then we get told we'll take a hairdryer to it and tighten it up. And I feel like with this hard backing, maybe that's not going to happen as much. I mean, is that true, or am I thinking about
Well,
it
it
wrong?
might not. I mean, it's not gonna. It won't do that because it's hard.
Right, it's hard behind.
Yeah. Mhm.
This is a really cool product. Now, is this available now or no?
This one is
futures?
not available now, and we do one with the same printing method, but also stretched. That's also a lower cost product. So it'll be 2 more canvases.
Coming.
And coming. Yeah.
Okay, very, very cool. Let's talk about this guy here.
One more thing about this one, just so
Yeah.
you know, is that because of the way that they're manufactured, it'll be just limited sizes. Custom
'Cause
sizes
it's
are
the
pretty
certain
much
blocks
out. Mhm, yeah, the way those are made. Just so you know.
Yeah.
This is a bamboo material with a print. So we print right on the bamboo. In this particular case, we're leaving this edge showing.
I really like that.
So, and we're thinking about different treatments we could do with the edge, but that's the idea. It's basically a bamboo print. Bamboo looks really, really nice. We'll probably do other types of material because the bamboo is very heavy and it's expensive.
Right.
But this is a first foray into that, and we're pretty happy with
Yeah,
that product.
it's got really good weight to it. And what I like about it, and I'm assuming they can see on camera, is if you print on something, you don't really see what it's made out of, that substrate, and
Right.
now you're seeing the wood line. So what are your thoughts here on other treatments? You said, well, like what would
Well, the
painted or
The thing is with this product is that it's light. The wood is light, and so you can see the print. You can see the image better because we're
Right.
going right through the wood. There's basically no white ink here, so you're seeing right through to the wood where there's whites. But this is maybe a little too white. We're thinking maybe a stain or something here to just darken that up a little
Yeah.
bit. There's other colors of bamboo that look a little bit better, we think. So we're just playing around with that because that just might be me, So until
Right.
we get it, but it won't be a paint, it won't be anything like that. It'll be a darker bamboo.
And-
we'll also try printing it on a darker bamboo as well
for the whole thing?
for the whole thing, and just see if that white of the bamboo, how that translates. We can also add a little bit of white ink to kind of make that image pop a little bit.
And what's the time frame on this? Is this available now or futures again?
Well, this is one of these where we can actually produce them now, where we have everything ready to go, but except for some of the other pieces. But from a production standpoint, we have everything we need to do this.
Very cool. All right, keep walking me through.
This is live.
I'm in a
These
candy
are
store.
these are Creative Edge frames. These live. There's several different outer sizes, several different colors.
Yeah, I like the distressed look, and this is a whole product line. And these are obviously being ordered one-offs.
Right.
You know, I don't have to order a whole bunch of frames and corners and all that stuff. I can
Yeah.
order as is.
Yeah, it just comes ready to go.
Yeah, this is really sharp. And then what are you printing and putting inside here? Is it a photographic print, art paper?
This happens to be an art paper, and but normally there were photographic prints, and I'm not sure why there's an art paper in here. I believe that they're available with the art papers, but we use a regular photographic print in
Yeah,
here.
I like it, by the way. So I don't know if that was just something you guys were beta testing or what, but
I like it
my
too.
personal perspective is the matte finish of the frame, and then that art photo, it just really jumps off.
Yeah.
It's not a bad photograph either. Complimenting my own work. All right. So what do we got?
Next up, we've got the USB drives and the USB cases.
This is really popular right now because obviously in the industry we're all talking about delivery of digital assets to our clients. And the funny part is right, I'm assuming just based on conversations you and I have had as you started your company years and years ago, the thought of ever having to develop a product to deliver something digitally probably was like never in your mind. So it just goes to show innovation is continuing to happen in our industry. But I like this. Tell me a little bit about it. Obviously, what I like about this is that the image wraps all the way around. It's got my branding on it, and then of course right in there are my thumb drive. It's just a really unique way to deliver product. So is this available today?
That is available.
You guys know how much does this retail for?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You guys just create the products. That's fair enough. But what I like is that I can do this in a one-off fashion. Is that correct? I don't
Yes.
have to order 20 of these.
Right.
I can just do one at a time.
We engrave straight onto the USB drives.
Okay, so you're handling the engraving as well onto the USB drive. I
Yes.
didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, it's the USB drive and that, and then there'll also be just about ready to launch as a double one, so you'll be 2 USB drives. And these cases are pretty much like our CD, DVD cases we've been doing for a long time.
Which I use, right? So that's what I'm liking about this is that from a branding perspective, now they can either put the client's image on here, their own branding on there, but then we can deliver both a DVD or a thumb drive in there. Very, very cool. This is cool, and this is of course available today.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In the future, we have wood drives coming up as well.
Very, very popular. And so
They will
these are
have-
just again thumb drives with magnetic covers. Very cool. And then of course I noticed the boxes.
The boxes for them as well.
Huge fan of this. What are you seeing? And I'm curious, when it comes to this stuff, like, are you seeing that this kind of natural, earthy thing
It's very
is
popular,
It's very
yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Where do you see it going? I mean, do you think it's a fad? Do you think it'll? I have no idea. I'm not. There's no agenda here. I'm just curious because I'm seeing so much of it, and I'm just wondering, like, do I need to adjust my own branding to incorporate stuff like this?
I think a lot of it's a matter of taste. I mean, it's per photographer, per client.
Right, your brand and,
Yeah.
and all that other stuff. But I mean, where else? I mean, is it just? Are we getting to a point where anything that can be printed on, we're printing on?
Well, anything can be printed on, but we want to make products that make sense to people.
Right.
That that people will will purchase and be happy with.
Right.
Wood has been, of course, very popular with a lot of people for a long time. I mean, we have some wood prints from way back. Barnwood frames and so on are also
Very true.
kind of coming back. So we used to see those, but these are pretty natural. And remember, in some cases, we just kind of have to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with demand. If people are asking us for something, then we need to do that as well.
Yeah, I'm just in love with this stuff. Like, so for our videos, we have wood boxes where we put hard drives in the boxes to deliver that content to our clients, and it's got that image on it, logo on it, and so I am in love with it. It's just been amazing me what all the new products I see coming out. Talk to me about this. How is this made?
That is an engraving as well. So we'll do engraving and full color prints.
So is this laser etched?
Laser etched, yeah.
Okay, and then so can I do? This is all included, right? So one off. I don't have to buy 20 boxes.
Yep.
Laser etched, and I can get what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Absolutely incredible. And this is futures.
With or without the drive.
Right.
Oh, okay. So I can get it with the drive,
Right.
or if I just want. How big do these boxes come, or is that still being developed?
That's still being developed. We're looking at various sizes for prints as well as drives, but this is what we're starting with.
Because that's what I'm thinking. Like, imagine now I can I can deliver this to my client with digital images, but then I can also
Absolutely.
deliver it with matted prints
Right.
in there. That would be kind of cool.
Or with
too.
a separation, prints, and the drive.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's really, really cool. All right, my order's in for that. I definitely want that. All right, keep walking me through. What do we got here?
We've also got a couple button magnets, button magnets and flat magnets.
Now, how do you envision photographers using stuff like this? What's the thought process? I know how I envision, so I'm curious what you think.
Save the date.
Save the
Yeah,
dates.
Save the dates.
Marketing pieces, right? Branding. So absolutely, this would make a great save the date for your client to absolutely put your image, your logo, website, stuff like that, all there. And this is nice. Tell me a little bit about this particular one.
Yeah, that's an interesting process.
Feels different.
'cause- Yeah, it is. It's heavy.
Yeah.
So we take a print that actually wraps around. There's a piece of acetate over the top.
So that's
And
an actual photographic print.
That's an actual photographic print. So then you can either do it with a magnet or with a clip, so you can use it as a button. And there's a couple of different sizes of these, but they're pretty heavyweight.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when you put it in my hand. Like, this is your, I guess, your typical magnet.
Right.
It feels
Refrigerator
like that.
magnet,
Yeah. And then this, to me, is like that higher end polished product.
Right.
So two different price points, obviously, I'm
And
assuming.
these will be available in all sorts of different sizes and shapes. So our shapes, like these Creative Edge frames or our cards, we all brand that Creative Edge. And all the magnets will be that way, as well as sticker material. It's
Very
also,
cool.
which we're not showing here, but all the edges, all of our Creative Edge shapes in different sizes in
For the flat
magnets and
magnets.
stickers.
For the
Yeah,
flat magnets.
Flat magnets.
Okay.
Yeah, not that one, of course.
The
So-
button magnets are live now.
So these are live now, but
No.
not in the.
The button magnets are live now.
Oh, the button magnets are live now.
Right.
Perfect. And then now these are not live
are
at all.
futures, yeah.
Those are
Right.
futures. And then, of course, will be the shape. So
Right.
I'm hoping the goal is when we launch it, it's all the shapes, everything.
Definitely, yeah. Again, all the ordering has to be just right for that.
Now, what this material, and I know we're trying to translate for video, but it feels very rubbery, and I like the matte texture. What is the process on this?
Well, this is a pretty typical magnet material, but this is actually printed. It's a press printed,
Okay,
and it's magnetized after the fact.
very cool. Yeah, I really like the way this feels and looks, but I definitely like the weight of this. All right, keep going. I like what we're doing here.
Let's see.
Is it a mount?
No, not that one.
No?
Let's do these. This is a metal print with an acrylic on top of it.
This is absolutely gorgeous. So obviously acrylics are nothing new, but what makes this really unique is the fact that you're taking metal
Right.
and adhering it to the acrylic. Because I know the acrylic process becomes really complicated with the adhering and the glue and all that other stuff. But this, I mean,
It's not adhered.
no,
so
I
it's
know
just
that's
loose.
what makes
Yeah.
it so beautiful. Like, so I don't know if it's translating well to video, but I can tell you, this product is absolutely breathtaking. The depth, the clarity, the contrast, everything. And this is one of my images, and so to see it, in its glory in this, I'm blown away by it. I really do like this process.
And it will come in multiple thicknesses.
Right.
Ah, very cool.
Quarter inch and half inch.
2 thicknesses of acrylic and
2 different size posts.
Yes, I really do like that. Now, what size range are these available in?
all
All
of
the
them.
All the
Yep,
whole
yep.
range. So anything you make a metal print of, I can get that same size. Boom,
Right.
just do the acrylic.
Right.
And what about hanging options? I know these are the standoffs. Are there?
That's it. Right now, all we have are standoffs, and these are stainless steel standoffs. So all the instructions come with it, but you're basically going to be screwing this piece into the wall, and then it goes. Oops.
And then mounting your print.
Yeah, and then mounting your print. And what I do like
it's
about
solid.
what I do like about this standoff, I have these in my studio, and what I do like about the standoffs is if I get tired of a picture, I don't have to I can just pop it off and use the same hole. So I
Yeah,
do like
there
that.
you go. Well, they're good for permanent installations. that's
Yeah,
for
of course.
It takes a little bit, but it's the look of them. That's the.
No, the look is breathtaking. I mean, honestly, I'm not just saying that. I really love the clarity of it all. And if it's one thing you guys are constantly doing is finding new ways for the same products, but displaying them in a way that's completely unique. I mean, this is metal, which you guys are amazing at, and now we're displaying it with that acrylic on top.
Right.
So what else we got there?
These are press printed, or I'm sorry, we call this a Sunrise album.
Okay.
It's basically a lower cost album. So
Now, is this available today?
We can make them today. but
Production
they're
is
not-
ready. It's a matter of software and
Okay, so it's
more
still a
clerical
futures.
issues,
You're
yeah.
ready
Yep.
for it, but it's just getting it into the system.
Exactly. But these, yeah, we've been ready for them for a while. So it's photo paper. It could be metallic, luster, maybe glossy, and we can UV coat them. So
You can also
the
do press papers.
and press print papers up to a certain size, and then what we do is they're basically glued back to back.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. These are just for, there's no, what do they call that, core?
Substrate.
Substrate.
There's no substrate.
Between them.
Right.
But it still has that firmness. It's not
Right.
like that flimsy paper.
Press printed, yes. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like a press printed book, and it's a photographic print, and it's creased, so it's like a, lay flat with a complete
Yeah.
pano all the way across.
So what is on a product like this, what's the goal? Where's the photographer looking
Yeah.
to pitch this?
The goal is, again, a lower priced album it's in between a press printed album, which we call a Bay Book, and our Pacific albums or our Kingston albums. It's something in between that.
Okay.
And so it provides a sturdier, sturdier page than the Indigo.
Right.
But you notice that when you open it, there's no fly sheets or anything. It's
Right.
basically, so that lowers the cost. This sort of thing lowers the cost. We'll have limited cover options, although there will be a photo wrap. So there's just ways to lower the cost. Also, the process is somewhat automated, so it helps us in the production.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking this for like maybe parent albums, high school seniors, where it's a little bit above, like you said, that press printed book, but it gives it, depending on cover options and things like that, you can have a
Right.
little bit higher end book, but like not as high end as the Pacific.
Yeah, exactly. And we will add some other options like, the photo cutout, that sort of thing.
Right. This is cool. Now, I'm sorry, you may have told me this. We are ready for
Ready in
production,
production.
but we're sitting there on everything else.
Yeah.
the-
We have
the
some
engine.
people ordering them now that we just kind of, off to the side.
That's good. It's a
But
good way to
those
beta
are,
test
yeah,
it.
it is. It does work.
I see one more book there.
Well, this is the same book. It's just with a photo wrap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I really like that. What kind of paper is this?
That is metallic with satin laminate.
Okay. Because like I said, it's got that rubbery kind of feel, and I'm probably
Right.
using the wrong words, but I just really do like the way it feels.
we have a lot of products based on this.
Okay.
Our thin wraps are based on this. Our book covers are based on this. So it's basically a photographic print with a laminate over it, and then it's wrapped.
Beautiful. Okay. Last but not least,
Yeah.
I've been excited about this from the minute I walked in here this morning because it's the same thing that's sitting behind us. Tell me about this product. It's absolutely beautiful.
So this is an exhibit mount. The idea is we take a metal print, and this point tends to be a little point of failure. So what we're doing is adding some styrene behind it to give it some good
Little bit more
rigidity.
sturdiness.
Exactly. So this will last. And then using a metal frame on the back.
The metal frame on the back, in my opinion, really, really seals the deal on this being a high quality product, right? There's many metals out there by many different companies, but again, color clarity on your metal, on the Bay metal, is absolutely astounding. But when I saw this mounted to the styrene, I don't know why it is, right? Because on the face you think, oh, it's the same thing, but it's not. It really isn't. It just looks
Right.
different. It feels different, and it's not.
Gives
you
it
know,
depth and dimension.
the right words, man. Perfect, David, because I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I describe this, what I'm feeling and seeing, and why is it so different? And it does give it more depth, more dimension. And to give you perspective, the frame is not that heavy because we move that, one person is
Yeah.
picking that size.
We tried with two, but then it was easier.
Yeah, it was just
with
like, oh, I
one.
got this, yeah. And so, a picture like that, how big is that behind us?
So 30 by 60.
Is that a 3060? That's what I thought it was. So that's an absolutely beautiful metal print.
Right.
And now it's got that, that edge. The edge looks beautiful on the styrene.
It's sturdy, it ships well, it'll handle well over the years when somebody tries to take it down and put it somewhere. Now, some of our other mounts that come with flush metal to the edges are very sturdy as well, but if this was just metal, it can bend.
Yeah.
And we do these up to 4 foot by 8 foot. So
That's
it's a big
unbelievable. That's a monster metal print. Well, gentlemen, I've definitely enjoyed having you here, and I want to go back to the lab and see all the new products. And but thank you for taking your time and sharing with the audience all the new products that are here.
Thanks
and
for having us.
ladies, gentlemen, do not go away. I need you to get social. So if you've enjoyed all the new products that we're showing you, Bay Photo is really stepping up, right? Hashtag your aha moment. What you've learned, what one takeaway is, I need you to hashtag Shutter Network. I need you to hashtag Bay Photo Lab. and get out there and get social for us. And you have an opportunity to win about $450 worth of prizes from Bay Photo. So they're giving you our 2 packages, our engagement package, our wedding post package so that you can build your samples. But most importantly, they're giving you a 20 by 30 metal print so that you can have some of these exciting new products. And who knows, by the time we air this episode, maybe some of these brand new products that are futures are actually live for you to get your hands on. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Larry, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
David, absolute pleasure, and enjoy.